let's head down to Orlando. We got to talk about the matchup between UCF and Colorado. This was a thriller, a Big 12 showdown between these two programs. Probably the most complete game by Colorado, I'd say, in the Coach Prime era. 48-21 win over UCF. And I'll be honest, it didn't feel like it was that close. Steve, hundreds of recruits were on campus for this one. Did Colorado come into Orlando and steal the show?
There's no question. They're one of the talks of college football coming out of this ball game. Deion Sanders, the very charismatic Deion Sanders, was a loss of words in his post-game interview. He was so proud of his football team, so proud of his coaching staff. And we know that he is good for a big flip or two every cycle on the recruiting trail. And I know if you tune into the Inside Scoop Wiltfong Whip Around, I say that all the time. So it's more like the anticipation of who's it going to be this cycle. They got us warmed up with Antonio Branch, 4-star defensive back, was committed to Penn State, visited Colorado last weekend, flipped his commitment to the Buffaloes early this week. Byron Baldwin is an on 300 cornerback committed to 5-0 Indiana. I think Colorado has the momentum for him. Penn State offers Byron Baldwin after they lose Antonio Branch. So they're trying to make a move, but I still like where Colorado stands for Byron Baldwin. Carday Smith is an offensive tackle committed to USC. He was at Colorado last weekend. He's trying to get back to USC. Colorado is full court press on Carday Smith. They are recruiting him like they recruited Jordan Seaton in the last cycle. He's physically ready to play. They're going to have some big upcoming recruiting weekends against Cincinnati and Kansas State. So it'll be interesting to see what elite players come. And winning a ball game like that, it's going to raise the eyebrow, raise the interest level of someone that maybe hasn't even having any dialogue with the Colorado staff right now. Deion Sanders is always one phone call away from a blue chipper of potentially moving that needle. Julian Lewis, quarterback commit, was at USC this weekend, 5-star, committed to the Trojans. Colorado's had him on campus 3 times this year. They're trying to get him to Cincinnati or Kansas State. 5-star receiver Dallas Wilson committed to Oregon. Our colleague Chad Simmons had the story this morning that Dallas Wilson talked to Deion Sanders before this game. He was at the UCF game. Coach Prime encouraged me to come watch the show, he told Chad Simmons. He certainly saw a show from Travis Hunter, the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy this year. No one playing more snaps, no one more impactful throughout the course of a whole game than Travis Hunter. They're going to try and flip LA Jesse Harold from LSU. He's a top 100 edge rusher in the On3 rankings. He's been at UCF twice this year, including today. Colorado wants to make a move there. They're going to take a big swing at 5-star receiver Jerome Miles. You got Samari Reed, a receiver committed to Ole Miss right now that they have interest in. And I talked to Cornell Farrakhan Jr., who's the jewel of the Colorado class currently. And he's like, it's special because the whole world is against us. Just sending a message that Colorado can compete really stood out. Got to keep doing their thing and proving the world wrong. Then he pointed towards the offensive line, how they stepped up and played big today. He said, I love seeing that. A lot of people tried to bash them, and those boys got out there and played like dogs. They did in all 3 facets, played great on special teams, made some big kicks, made some big plays on offense. UCF was on their heels all night. Colorado getting a big win for them. They're 4-1 right now, and certainly able to point towards some success that they're having now, bouncing back from that Nebraska loss.
Yeah, and I love what Coach Prime did in leading up to this matchup, reaching out to a lot of the recruits like a Dallas Wilson that he expected to be on campus. Kind of like I said, Colorado did steal the show here, and they made this big weekend for UCF a big recruiting weekend for Colorado. You did put in while we're here, you did put in a UCF recruiting prediction machine pick in for a top 2026 quarterback.
Yeah, Landon Duckworth, former South Carolina commit. He's been to UCF a bunch. They've done a great job recruiting him. Coach Malzahn, Coach Henshaw and company. They've done a great job recruiting Landon Duckworth, and I think that they're the team to beat. And UCF, they showed what kind of atmosphere that they can have for big games on their campus. It's an exciting place to play, and it just wasn't their afternoon.
Yeah, now Colorado, I believe they head up into the bye. This would be a great time to do some high school recruiting if you're the Colorado coaching staff. I know you hit on some names like a Julian Lewis, but during the bye week, not talking about Coach Prime himself, but do we expect the Colorado coaching staff to hit the trail and do some high school recruiting?
Yeah, I think that they'll have some coaches out on the road. Javian Hilson's a name that was at the top of that UCF visit list that wasn't in my post game article about Colorado that you can find on three, but Colorado has offered him a scholarship as well. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see who they recruit. I don't think any
Right.
prospect is off limits for them. And for a lot of these young men, they're going to get some intrigue and get some interest. Then it's getting them to campus. And then, like, it's win some, lose some. But I think that the more high school prospects that Colorado swings at, Deion Sanders hits at a high rate. They don't offer that many kids. They offer way less kids than Dabo Sweeney and Clemson from the high school ranks. They do a good job of landing a lot of the guys that they hone in on. And again, a win like this, a performance like this on national television, 3:30 spotlight game on Fox. I'd be surprised if they didn't have the biggest rating of that block of
Mhm.
games, particularly with Notre Dame and Louisville being on Peacock. I think it was a heck of an afternoon for the Buffaloes. Alabama is my winner of the weekend, but Colorado is certainly not far behind with the showing that they had.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, Shador, they went in there, they did what they had to do. Travis Hunter put on, as we said, heading into this game, I said I felt like he was the best player in college football. I don't think he
We
did
both did.
anything to
Don.
dispel those rumors. What's that?
I said we both did. He's the Heisman Trophy winner.
We did, but who did you pick in the game? Because I was going Colorado all the way.
I picked Georgia in the other, or excuse me, I picked Alabama in the other game though. So we're both 1-1 today.
Hey, not bad. Hey, but Colorado fans tap in. What a win over UCF in front of hundreds of recruits. It just feels like Colorado is about to surge on the recruiting trail as well. So talk to Steve and I. Let us know, comment section below. Who is your top target at the high school level? Let us know, comment section
One more
below.
thing I want to add on Colorado, so don't turn this video off.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
Julian Lewis is obviously their top quarterback target. They know they need to land a quarterback target. So I could see them pivoting somewhere soon too, depending on what continues to happen with Julian Lewis. So it would be interesting to see what other elite quarterbacks they take a swing at. And then LA Jesse Harold just got back to me. He wasn't able to make the game today, so he wasn't there to watch Colorado's performance in person. But again, the LSU commit, he is a prospect that Colorado is going to try and make a run at as this cycle continues.
All right. You can feel it happening right now. The shift is going from, it was all about the transfer portal in the offseason, but I think the next couple months for Colorado, we're going to be talking a lot about high school recruiting.